Avatar series has given us some of the greatest villains in animation history, but none of them quite hit like Azula.
You're trying to keep us here and waste all our time!
Right. I think your friend just said that, genius. And since you can't see, I should tell you I'm rolling my eyes.
This girl was 14 years old, and she's got military generals scared to breathe wrong around her.
And if I were to have you thrown overboard, would the tides think twice about smashing you against the rocky shore?
No, Princess.
Azula is ruthless, mean, and completely convinced she's untouchable. Because what happens when the most dangerous princess in the Avatar universe's history is finally put in her place? And how is she going to react when the person that deals the final blow is the one person she's looked down on her entire life? Today we're counting every time Azula got calm, and ooh, Azula, the moments we have collected, it's really not looking good for you. Starting with the very first time we see Azula, we're beaten over the head with the fact that she's supposed to be an irredeemable ball of chaos. And don't get me wrong, we like chaotic evil characters at Not Fair Studios, but she's something else entirely.
But I assure you, if you hesitate, I will not hesitate to bring you down. Dismissed.
She gets assigned by her dear old dad the mission to get Zuko and Iroh back to the Fire Nation as traitorous prisoners. Pretty fitting chore for the daughter of the bloody Fire Lord, right? Shouldn't be too hard for someone like her. She's got the might of an entire army, with her and the brains of the deepest, most messed up part of her family tree. All she has to do is get out there and bring them back kicking and screaming, right? That's not her style. Instead, she tracks them down to a resort in the Earth Kingdom, puts on her warmest smile, and spins them a beautiful lie.
I've come with a message from home. Father's changed his mind. Family is suddenly very important to him.
She tells Zuko that their father has forgiven him for his grievous sin of being a decent human being. There's no need for him to run anymore. All he has to do is come home and be one big happy family with all of them. Like nothing ever bloody happened. Yeah, Iroh smells the bull from a mile away. But Zuko, gullible, naive, simple Zuko, he wants to go running back into Fire Daddy's arms with a smile on his face and get a big hug and probably a steak for dinner. Obviously, that's not gonna fucking happen. Instead, Azula's trap closes perfectly and they're ambushed with soldiers everywhere.
You heard the princess. Raise the anchors. We're taking the prisoners home.
Thankfully, though, the trap fails. Iroh comes in clutch and gets them out of that dangerous situation. And the two of them escape into the Earth Kingdom. Azula fails her mission, and that should be karma enough. But for me, there's more to it. The real karma is what this moment does to Zuko over time. Just give me a second, let me cook here. Every single lie Azula tells him from this point forward gets filtered through the memory of this moment. She built her entire relationship with her brother on manipulation and fear. And by establishing that pattern so early and so clearly, she made it so that when she needed him to truly trust her later, he couldn't. And thanks to that, one of her biggest forms of power over her brother, that is, her ability to manipulate him, is gone. That's why I bloody love this show. It lays the foundation for so many things so perfectly that you can't help just grinning when you pull all the puzzle pieces together. And you know we're right here with you to put all those damn puzzles together for you. Not Fair Studios definitely isn't filled with weak old coffee mugs and crumpled notes. Anyways, that's enough story building. The next real hit of karma comes not long after. You see, the Fire Nation has built what is essentially the most terrifying piece of military engineering the world has ever seen. A massive hydraulic drill designed to bore through the outer wall of Ba Sing Se. That has never been breached in 100 years of war. And who's running the operation? Azula, obviously. I mean, who bloody else would be leading a revolutionary, destructive project like this? And I know I'm taking a dig at her, but she's genuinely so good at leading this shit that it's actually scary. She successfully intercepts saboteurs inside the drill and even goes as far as fixing structural damage. All that while personally fighting Avatar Aang on top of the machine, while it's grinding toward the wall and keeping him on the back foot. But as powerful and as terrifyingly efficient as she is, there's not much she can do against the bloody Avatar, is there? Aang drives an earthen spike into the drill, and the whole thing explodes from the inside out. The most powerful weapon the Fire Nation had ever deployed against Ba Sing Se is gone. And who's going to have to take the blame for that when she goes home to Daddy Dearest? Yeah, and we all know the Fire Lord doesn't like it very much when his kids fail. The person to point it out after all is said and done is Mai, who has been standing around this whole time, looking like she'd rather literally be anywhere else. She just says it clearly that they've lost.
We lost.
The delivery, it genuinely made me bloody laugh. You bring the Fire Nation's greatest weapon ever to the gates of the last great Earth Kingdom city, and you put your most dangerous operative in charge of it. And a 12-year-old with a water pouch and some advice about pressure points turns it into a very expensive pile of scrap. But it's not very often that Azula loses. Like I've said so much, she's terrifyingly good at what she does when she puts her mind to it. And she's put her mind to taking down Ba Sing Se. And eventually, she really does it. She stages a coup and turns the Dali against Long Feng, and then eventually against their own city. She even convinces Zuko to fight by her side and brings down the Avatar while he's in the Avatar state. By every measurable standard, Azula wins this episode by an absolutely enormous margin. And then she returns home as a conqueror and goes to tell her dad that finally the Fire Nation has made progress against the Avatar. And yet, surprisingly, she gives the credit to Zuko for delivering the final blow to the Avatar.
What if Father doesn't restore my honor?
He doesn't need to, Zuko. Today, you restored your own honor.
Bloody hell, why in the would she do that? Maybe she's come to love and appreciate her brother. Maybe she wants to help him out and return his former glory as the Prince of the Fire Nation. Yeah, no. This is just another move in her long game of fifth-dimensional chess. You see, she wasn't entirely convinced that Aang was dead. Katara had fled with his body, and if the Avatar turned out to be alive, someone would have to take the fall. And it might as well be Zuko to take the credit, and of course, the blame if it came to it. So, Zuko's honor gets restored, and he gets his father's trust again. From there, he gets welcomed back into the palace, and eventually into the Fire Lord's inner circle. And of course, as we all know, Zuko defects to Team Avatar. But before going to the light side, who's the person that gave Zuko the power that he needed to betray the Fire Nation and run off the mountains of vital information for Team Avatar to use? That's right, bloody Azula. She thought she was being clever, and maybe she was, but her overthinking of a situation and looking for any possible way to make anyone but her suffer ended up backfiring badly. Now her brother has a great weapon and allies that are more than happy to use it. Right, I think we've bullshitted around the subtle stuff for long enough. Let's talk about Ty Lee chi-blocking Azula in the face. Throughout the entire series, Azula's relationship with Mai and Ty Lee has been built entirely on fear. We find out earlier that when she quote-unquote recruited Ty Lee from the circus, she had the safety net set on fire mid-performance, so Ty Lee could either join willingly or fall to her death. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious what choice anyone would make in that situation.
I know. Set the net on fire.
Of course, Princess.
Brilliant, just brilliant. Oh, what kind of dangerous animals?
And Mai? Well, Mai goes along with things because Mai knows what happens to people who say no to Azula. I don't know about you, but I can smell a string of blackmail from a mile away, especially when there's romance involved. During the Boiling Rock prison break, Zuko and the gang are escaping on a gondola over a lake of boiling water. Azula can't have that, so she orders the line. That means everyone in the gondola dies. And guess who steps forward to stop it?
What are you doing?
Saving the jerk who dumped me.
She holds off the guards herself, single-handedly, long enough for the gondola to reach safety. When Azula confronts her, Mai looks her dead in the eyes and professes that she loves Zuko far more than she fears Azula.
I guess you just don't know people as well as you think you do. You miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you.
No, you miscalculated.
5 years of control, all undone because her brother managed to woo the goth of the group. It's honestly perfect. But what makes it even better is that despite how properly messed up the friendship is, you can still tell Azula that she lost them.
You're both fools.
She has both of them imprisoned immediately, but you can see it on her face. The strong, confident woman is starting to crumble as everything starts going wrong, one by one. It's getting serious, and every time we see her, Azula is getting more and more loony in the head. But you want to know what's more satisfying than watching Azula fail at something big? Watching her nearly fall off of a ship. I know that's quite specific. After Zuko defects to Team Avatar during the eclipse, Azula leads a fleet of Fire Nation airships to the Western Air Temple to deal with him. She arrives with overwhelming military force and engages Zuko directly in combat. She still gives off the vibe of a strong, confident battle maniac, but we all know by now that things are cracking under the surface. So during the fight that should be where she settles things with her favourite brother, she fucking slips off the boat. Sure, she manages to save herself by jamming a single hairpin into the cliff wall, but this is yet another failure to add to the books. The most dangerous person in the Fire Nation, dangling from a hairpin, like a washed up piece of laundry your grandma left on the line.
Of course she did.
Team Avatar escapes, and yet another mission fails spectacularly. And this one isn't even because of some fancy feat from the Avatar, or some grand plan that spanned over multiple episodes. She just bloody trips over the edge. That perfect facade is cracking. Failure after failure after failure. Multiple Fire Nation plans have hinged on her head, and she's failed far too many times. Azula has spent her whole life being the perfect daughter and the perfect soldier, all wrapped in a terrifying homicidal package. And she's done all of this to be the perfect bloody war machine for Daddy Ozai. Or Ozai? Who the cares? Don't you guys have anything better to do than biting the hand that feeds you? No. I'm just joking, you guys. You guys were totally right. My bad. Thank you for correcting me on my pronunciation. Anyways, while Zuko was getting banished and chasing the Avatar across the world in disgrace, Azula was home, being exactly what her father wanted. And yet, it still wasn't enough. At the ceremony, before Ozai's final campaign, he announces that she will not be coming with him. She will be left behind to inherit the title of Fire Lord, while Ozai crowns himself as Phoenix King and the ruler of the entire world, making her title ceremonial at best and decorative at worst.
I've decided to declare you the new Fire Lord.
But what about you?
Fire Lord Ozai is no more. From this moment on, I will be known as the Phoenix King.
That's obviously not what Daddy's girl Azula wants. We all know she's being cast aside by her dad. He's doing exactly what he did with Zuko, giving her a task or role that seems super important, but looking at it even a little bit critically reveals that it's nothing but a cover-up for Ozai to throw his own kids away. And Azula's not fucking stupid. Of course she knows this, and she's not gonna just sit back and accept it.
You can't treat me like this. You can't treat me like Zuko.
Azula, silence yourself.
The girl who spent years looking down at her banished brother and using him as proof of her superiority can't accept the fact that her dad is treating her pretty much the same way. And of course, Ozai shut her down. The man doesn't give two shits if she likes what he does or says, because he's not doing it for her. He's not even doing it for the fucking Fire Nation. He's doing it for the love of the game, and she's had to learn that the hard way. She built her entire life around not being Zuko, and her father made her feel exactly like him. From here, things get legitimately hard to watch, After Ozai leaves, Azula is alone in the palace with her title and her crown and absolutely nothing else. And the paranoia that has been building since the boiling rock explodes outward in every direction. She starts banishing people.
I will show mercy. You are banished. Leave this palace immediately.
A servant leaves a cherry pit in her breakfast bowl. Gone. The Dali, who she commanded to help her take down Ba Sing Se, banished. Lo and Lai, her childhood firebending teachers, and the 2 women who've been by her side her entire life, gone.
All right, fine. Lo, you're banished. Lee, you can stay.
Fucking hell. Pretty sure she'd send the entire Fire Nation packing so that she could cry in the streets if she wanted to. And after she's sent every last person packing, she's left all alone. She sits down to do her hair for the coronation and she can't get it right. She gets frustrated and picks up a pair of scissors to get the job done quickly. Of course, she does an absolute bullshit job at it. And now she's sitting in front of a mirror with uneven hair and an empty palace she created herself. All of the failures, all of the problems that have been compounding throughout the series have piled up and up and up. And now we've seen them all come tumbling down onto her head.
It's karma, baby.
And at her worst, lowest moment, she sees the one person that she hates the bloody most in the whole universe. Her mother.
What are you doing here?
I didn't want to miss my own daughter's coronation.
She sees a hallucination of Ursa in the mirror. Ursa's the opposite of her dad. The only person that didn't show love through fear and torture and abandonment. The only person in the world who might have actually truly given a fuck about her. And Azula smashes the mirror. The poor girl's got nothing and no one left. The pride and power and confidence don't come with the Fire Lord title. All she's got to her name is an empty castle and a fuck ton of teenage angst.
Sad, lonely douche.
And all of that angst is going to come out in a hell of a confrontation with the one person that's the opposite of her in every bloody way. Zuko and Katara arrive at the palace during Azula's coronation. She's standing there in her Fire Lord robes with her uneven hair and her empty eyes. And she challenges Zuko to an Agni Kai.
Just you and me, brother. The showdown that was always meant to be. Agni Kai.
He accepts, obviously, and what follows is a beautifully animated final showdown to finally settle this bloody sibling rivalry that has been several years in the making.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything.
All that anger that she's been building up for weeks and months of consistent failures all come pouring out in a wave of lightning and blue fire. Fuck. Just watching this whole thing again for this video had me shouting at the screen like a bloody schoolgirl. But Zuko isn't the same scared little kid that she remembered. He's stronger now, and he's sure as hell not scared of her anymore.
I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
She's smart enough to know that she can't beat him clean, so she fires a bolt of lightning at Katara instead. Zuko throws himself in front of it and takes the full strike. Azula doesn't waste a second and turns to finish Katara off just as quickly. But the waterbender isn't going to go down so easily. Katara outsmarts her completely by using the fountain water to lure her in and encase her in ice. And just like that, it's finally bloody over. Azula's lost, and she knows it. She sits on the ground as everything slowly builds up within her. 2 seasons of pain, failures, abandonment, everything. They all come flooding out in a fiery temper. In that last moment, you really remember the fact that this terror of a war general princess is just 14 years old. Like, what in the hell did Ozai do to her to make her this much of a basket case? It's genuinely pathetic to watch. But She's also one of the most terrifying villains I've ever seen. Anyway, chaps and chapettes, you bloody know what to do, don't you? Like, subscribe and all of that jazz while I get busy with the next big project. Thank you, everyone. Cheerio.